So, Tomi, what led to that bashing on The View?
Well, there is a woman over the weekend who took it upon herself to research my family history in hopes of digging up some kind of a gotcha moment, a gotcha angle to validate illegal immigration and open borders. And what she found was really shocking, guys. She found that my family who came here in the 1800s from Norway and Germany, that they spoke Norwegian and German. Okay. And really what she did is prove that my family came here legally, but what she was hoping to do was try to call me a hypocrite for believing in merit-based.
It turned into a live ancestral roast with a political twist. Sunny, deep in her daily dramatic persona, thought she could crush Tomi Lahren by unearthing her great-great-grandparents' immigration records. Bold move, Sunny, but instead of dismantling Tomi, she handed her the perfect stage to deliver a calm, smug, and scripted rebuttal. What was intended as a takedown ended up backfiring spectacularly. So, who really got exposed? You'll want to see this entire breakdown.
Immigrants come over here and they don't know anything and they're dragging us down because we all come from immigrants, including you, Tomi Lahren. She talks about low skills. What exactly are her skills?
Her second great-grandmother had been here for 10 years, yet spoke no English. Oh my gosh. 1930 census says Tomi's 3 times great-grandmother had been here for 41 years and still spoke German. She didn't speak English either. She doesn't even know her own history. She certainly doesn't know this country.
What started as a typical discussion on immigration policy, borders, legalities, the usual serious talk, suddenly took a detour when Sunny, driven by performative virtue, believed she had the ultimate trump card, Tomi's ancestors. Because what better way to elevate the conversation than to shout, "Your great-grandmother didn't speak English," during a live national broadcast?
And with DNA, 23andMe, because I cannot believe the detail on your background that they were able to get.
Well, I don't have to. She did all the research for me, so I'm sure my family is very appreciative.
What about Joy saying, though, what are your skills? It's beyond research. It is personal. It is mean.
Well, of course, this is classical Joy Behar, but I would like to ask Joy Behar what her skills are, because perhaps we could swap stories. I know I watched Joy, and she seems like a highly skilled lady, but for her to attack me, that's really interesting. Those in black.
Sunny was convinced she struck gold, like she'd uncovered the sacred proof of conservative hypocrisy. She beamed proudly, certain that exposing Tomi's 19th century Norwegian ancestors' language struggles was the ultimate mic drop. But unfortunately for Sunny, that mic drop bounced right off Tomi's sleek ponytail and landed squarely in her own lap, creating an unforgettable cringe loop.
You that bothers him so much.
Well, it's not just me, it's anybody who advocates for merit-based immigration or has an issue with open borders. And again, just like you said, they don't seem to understand that we on the right believe in immigration. We understand that we are a nation of immigrants, and I am proud of my heritage. However, I do believe that the immigration crisis of today is apples to oranges from what it was in the 1800s, when immigrants came to this country legally, were documented, worked for themselves, asked for nothing, and built a life and a family. That has nothing to do with the illegal immigration crisis of today that we must deal with. But they don't want to acknowledge that.
Tomi didn't budge. Not even a twitch from her expressionless, Botox-locked forehead. Instead, she smoothly flipped Sunny's attempt into a calm policy rebuttal. Sure, her ancestors didn't speak English, because, surprise, they were 1800s-era Europeans, but they followed the law, integrated without government handouts or hashtags. Channeling the composure of someone who'd never show up to a fight in Flats, Tomi turned a personal jab into a textbook political statement.
I have heard a lot of dumb crap come out of blue states, but this one is a real doozy. Get this. As of January 1st, New Jersey teachers will no longer be required to pass a basic literacy test. I kid you.
Meanwhile, Sunny looked stunned, as though she'd just been hit by her own strategy while presenting Tomi's family lineage. Tomi thrives in debates, and Sunny accidentally invited her in. She praised merit-based systems, responsibility, and legal immigration, while Sunny, like a rookie at a genealogy seminar, showed up with family trees and ended up getting buried under documented history.
Started out at One America News with an 80-something-year-old male boss who called me a bimbo pretty freely. That was a different experience. I went to the Blaze and I worked for Glenn Beck, who I had to end up getting in a lawsuit with because he tried to fire me for saying I was pro-choice when I went on The View. So it's been a different experience at those.
But that wasn't the end of it. Oh no, because what's a political clash without Twitter melting down faster than an overripe avocado under a heat lamp? The internet became a digital battleground, packed with people who've never read an immigration bill, but have strong feelings about Ellis Island. Then, like clockwork, Greg Gutfeld, Fox News version of a comedian, stepped into the chaos. Greg, ever ready to pounce, turned Sunny's Ancestry expose into a late-night punchline. He laughed at the idea that Sunny had become the show's unofficial genealogist without ever actually researching her own background. With glee, he joked that Sunny's ancestors didn't exactly waltz into America with the Constitution in one hand and an ESL workbook in the other. If she's going to start pointing fingers, maybe she should prune her own family tree before lobbing acorns at someone else's.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions? Like you said, and it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say in The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist. She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses, regardless of skin color. People marry, they listen to each other, they have something in common with them, they share their political views. She just didn't want to upset her husband by saying her husband makes her do everything, and then she'd have to accuse him of being a racist. Because if he told her that this is what white women do, then he's a racist.
And people started asking, where exactly does Sunny Hostin get her talking points? The answer seemed obvious. Her husband. It seemed like Sunny was echoing her husband's views. But instead of owning it, she turned a neutral issue into a racial one. She personalized the debate, implying that policy hinged on ancestral language, something no one bought. The View spiraled into chaos, while Tomi stayed calm, focused on legal immigration, and let Sunny's argument unravel. Reactions were split. Some praised Tomi's composure, others called Sunny's move bold but misguided.
The obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe. Here's how she took the news.
And the rest of us, we just wanted someone, anyone, to explain merit-based immigration without dragging in colonialism. It's almost poetic how serious issues turn into emotional battlefield drama. Immigration, a topic needing real thought, was reduced to a personality brawl. And it all started because Sunny thought Tomi's last name was fair game. Here's the truth. Sunny could have made a valid point if she'd kept it broader. She could have discussed the challenges of assimilation, how each immigrant experience is different, how language skills don't determine worth. But she went for the viral clip and got it, just not the kind she wanted. She got ratioed on Twitter by anonymous dog avatars with 1776 in their bios. And the kicker? Tomi didn't even have to attack her. Sunny did it all herself. Tomi just watched and turned the moment into a campaign-ready speech about the American dream and the value of lawful entry. This wasn't a discussion. It was a masterclass. By the end, Sunny had tripped over her own trap, and you could almost hear regret, echoing from the View's green room. Even Joy Behar looked like she wanted to crawl into her glasses. Because when your takedown ends up making your opponent look like the victim, you've clearly lost the thread. And
I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
And then came the surprise. Sunny admitted, I always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Rican. Didn't know we were originally from Spain and slaveholders. So how was she feeling? She just said it was amazing that she and her husband have similar roots.
I have a question of my own. Do you lock your doors at home? At your residence, do you have a lock on your door? Do you use that lock?
I do. Yeah, I do.
You have an alarm?
And why is that? I mean, you lock your door. You lock your door because you want to know who's coming into your home. It's not because you hate the people outside. It's because you love the people inside. Well, that's what needs to be done with the United States of America. That's why we have a border. We have a right to know who's coming into our country and why.
Let's be real here. This wasn't just two women yelling on TV. This was a prime example of how political discourse has morphed into high school drama. You don't win by tracing someone's DNA. You win by making a logical, clear point, ideally without passive-aggressive genealogy attacks. Immigration is personal, emotional. It's about family, dreams, and identity. But using someone's great-grandparents as ammo on live TV, that's not advocacy. It's sabotage. The drama didn't end there. Think pieces poured in, with some calling Sunny brave and others saying she crossed a line. Meanwhile, Tomi turned the moment into viral gold, with Gutfeld mocking Sunny's Ancestry adventure as blindfolded rock throwing in a glass house. His punchline? This isn't policy, it's cosplay for applause.
You've resonated with so many people.
I think, in large part, I represent Middle America. So you've got the two coasts, and those individuals seem to kind of just talk to each other. And then you've got all of Middle America right there that's dying to have a voice. They don't really feel like they have one. They're not represented, beyond their communities. So I think they watch me and they say, well, she speaks like I do. She thinks like I do. She seems to maybe get it like I do. And I think that's why it's resonated. And also, I do something very different. There's not a whole lot of young conservative women out there. And so I provide that.
And through it all, viewers at home were left scratching their heads. How did a talk on border security morph? Into a discussion about someone's German-speaking uncle from 1873? Welcome to today's political television, where the drama is the real content. This entire episode serves as a warning to every TV panelist. Don't bring family trees to a policy debate, especially not when your opponent knows how to turn public outrage into a personal brand. Sunny took a swing at history and accidentally handed Tomi the present. And to top it all off, just imagine if Tomi had done to Sunny what she did to her. There'd be protests, cancel campaigns, emotional essays on racism, maybe even a 10-part NPR podcast. But because Sunny did it, it's just called providing context. That's the world we live in now, where drama drowns out real ideas. The louder the performance, the less anyone cares about the point. Love her or hate her, Tomi Lahren entered the view, took the heat, and left stronger. Sunny, meanwhile, got applause from her base, but lost credibility with many due to her personal, grudge-driven approach. The show turned a serious topic into drama, proving once again that ego often drowns out real debate. When even Greg Gutfeld sounds reasonable, you know the discourse is off the rails. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.